Hey, good evening, everybody, or afternoon, depends when you're watching the show. This is It Came from Gen X. Take this ride of life, sports, music, world news, and pop culture through the eyes of three Gen Xers. I am one of your Gen Xers, Keith Porter, along with Brian Fisher and Michael Skinner, known as Porterhouse, Skin, Bone, and Fish. Welcome to the show, everybody. What is going on, Skinner? Welcome back, brother. We missed you last week.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it. That came down ill, and still got some remnants of it, but we'll push through today. How you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good.
Doing well.
Got to see Fish over the weekend. Came out to
Mm-hmm.
the Mixed Nut Show.
Yep.
Yeah, I
And
just had no energy. I wanted to
oh
be
yeah,
there for that show, dude. I apologize.
we know you
It was a
weren't
good
coming. No
time.
problem. You had to take care of yourself. But thank you, Fish, for showing up. We appreciate having you out there.
Absolutely.
How was your weekend, brother? The rest of your weekend? I know
Uh,
Saturday night stuff.
yeah, Saturday was lukewarm. No, I'm kidding. No, it was fun getting out and seeing you guys. Great set as always. Nice mix of
Thank you.
fun songs and rock songs and everything. And I had the finale dedicated to me, Skinner, the Iron Maiden. So yes, thank you
That
very
right.
Oh,
much.
nice.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Friday, Allie and I went to a nice dinner. Went out to, I'll give a shout out. We're trying to find a patio because it was such a beautiful evening here in Northeast Iowa.
Right. Yeah.
Picture perfect day and evening. A lot of places were packed, but Johnny J's out in Springfield, okay, off of 224 in Akron, in the Akron area, Springfield area there. Nice patio. We had a delicious dinner there. So if you don't may think it's more of a bar, I guess, but their menu is very, very good. I had a surf and turf and some very good, and these whiskey glazed Brussels sprouts and fried pickles for that. It was exceptional. So
Huh.
if you're like,
Great.
I don't know, really know where to go check out Johnny J's Bar and Grill.
That's what
And
summer's about. Wherever you
yeah,
can go and
man.
you can be outside.
Yes.
That's what it's about right there, man.
Yeah.
So
So
cool.
great stuff. And then
Well, we
saw
got a
Coach
lot.
Cooper on Sunday, and that was great too, hanging out in his
Okay.
bar garage for a little bit. But yeah.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, fellas. So
Yep.
lots going on. But go ahead and tell them where they can find the show, man.
All right. You might be listening to us on WMVU.org, Global Internet Radio, Mondays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Just pull up their site or app and play live listen, and you can listen to us right there if you want to. They also have a lot of other fine content for free, music, other shows, etc. Go check them out. You can listen to us whenever you want to on demand. Pull up your favorite podcast platforms where we listen to podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Verbal, Overcast, Stitcher. Pull us up, find our show. It came from Gen X. Just give us a subscribe for free. As we post new episodes weekly, they will pop in your podcast feed for you. You can listen to us at your leisure. You can watch us on YouTube on our YouTube channel. It came from Gen X. All show links can be found in two main places. Our Linktree account is Google It Came from Gen X Linktree, or vice versa, frankly. It'll just simply be a page, nothing to log into, with links to where you can listen to us, links to our social media. It's all there for you. And our website, It Came from Gen X, all one word, .wordpress.com. Pull us up there. Again, links to where you can listen to us, links to the current episodes, links to videos, promos, bios. And if you choose to support the show, you can find our Patreon link on the website. If you choose to do that, you don't have to, but if you do, we appreciate that as well. If you choose to sponsor us at all. If you like our stuff, thank you. Tell a friend, like, share, rate, review. Word of mouth is how we can continue to grow a little bit here. So just tell a friend. It means more than you know. So we appreciate your support out there. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. And, it just always makes me happy to say hello to our diverse listeners all over the place.
Yes.
Listening to us in Germany, we want to say thank you. Ireland, thank you. We appreciate you. I want to say thank you to especially our listeners in Pittsburgh, the motherland, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Joel Ramey and her family, we appreciate you so much. To the gang, Felicia Kelly and the gang at Suma Family Medical. It used to be known as City Hospital. Just a wonderful, wonderful group of people. We want to say thank you for listening to the show as well. And shout out to the man, if you want to know who does this fantastic podcast, Michael Skinner Jr. Uh, just a multitude of talents bursting out of a young man. We want to say thank you to him and to Christopher Dominic. So, with that being said, welcome back, the Skin Bone. Tell us what's happening, man.
Well, first of all, saying Pittsburgh is the motherland, you're lucky we got some listeners there because you were
Watch
about
your
to get a
mouth.
mouthful.
Watch your mouth.
Oh,
That's
I
all I'm gonna
watched my
say.
mouth.
Okay.
I watched my mouth.
Okay.
You're lucky.
You're not feeling good. Don't make you feel worse.
Thank you, listeners, for making me use my filter today.
Yes.
The motherland of annoying football fans.
Shut up.
Yes.
I don't know. What?
The motherland of criminal organizations.
The
known
motherland
as the
of
Pittsburgh
winners.
Steelers.
The motherland of winners, not whiners.
All right, so I got a quick story to talk about. This is something probably Keith would be interested in knowing.
Oh, the Cleveland Browns playoff records.
Yeah, right. There's a licensing company out in Las Vegas, and they are trying to put a stop to Elvis-themed weddings.
Yep.
Las Vegas chapels of love that use Elvis Presley likeness could find themselves becoming heartbreak hotels, is what it says. Excuse me, I'm going to be coughing a little bit here and there, and I apologize up front. The licensing company that controls the name and image of the king, quote unquote, is ordering Sin City Chapels operators to stop using Elvis themed as part of their ceremonies in Vegas. Now, this was as of 6 days ago, middle of last week.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. I've tried to do some research. I have nothing that I could say as to why this is happening, other than the heirs of
money.
Elvis Presley are not getting paid.
That's it.
It's the only thing I can think of.
That's the only thing it can be. This has been going on since the king passed away. You know what I mean? Elvis theme, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly in Vegas, Elvis and Vegas, they're synonymous with one another.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say this. A person like Elvis belongs to the world, if you know what I'm saying. There are very few people that reach such a status, they kind of belong to the world. Elvis, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan. I mean, come on now. So it's all about money, trying to get some more money. That's all it could be.
I was going to throw the late Betty White would also be there also, I think.
Betty White?
Yes, Betty White. She's just owned by the world. She's loved and endured by everybody. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but she's not an iconic name. She's not a household name. She's not.
Oh, Betty White's
she's not huge.
Name.
No.
I've heard it all now. Betty White.
Keith.
He just put Betty White in the same category with Elvis, Jordan, and Muhammad Ali.
I think when it comes to household names, you have to.
You know what? So is Nicolas Cage. So
God, I was just trying to say that.
Yeah, Fisher's over there dying to say something. I know.
Betty White.
Keith already took it.
I think you're
Nick
right.
Cage.
You know, Elvis weddings have been going on since as long as I can remember. That's going back into, after he died, which was what, 1976?
Yeah.
77, I think it was. But still, yeah.
What's that?
No, it's okay. Go ahead. I thought it was 77.
What is an Elvis theme in Vegas?
Yeah.
What is an Elvis theme?
Right.
Well,
right.
The preacher or the person who's conducting the ceremony is dressed up as Elvis.
Okay, so where does it stop? What about the Elvis impersonators? What about the Elvis people jumping out of airplanes?
Question.
What about where does it stop?
Yeah, I would like to know that answer because that's a question I have as well.
Well, I would appreciate if you keep an eye on this story and see if you get some more information because that's a little
Yeah,
crazy.
I have been, and there's just not a whole lot out there with it. But I thought it was an interesting topic, especially with you being an Elvis Presley, excuse me, fan as you are. I thought you'd be interested in that. So
Well,
yeah,
with
if any listeners
us
out
being
there,
Gen Xers since we've been little, it's just
right?
been Elvis themed everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how could you stop it? He's such a worldwide phenomenon, and I don't know how you can single out Elvis style weddings.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
if you're selling, Elvis Presley merchandise in the church with Elvis's likeness that's unlicensed,
That's a
that's
whole
one
different
thing.
thing, right?
That's
You're right.
something totally different. Yeah.
But like you say, it's sort of the equivalent, like you're saying, it's sort of the equivalent of like the guys on the street dressed up as superheroes and worldly characters
Yeah,
to make a little extra money. You go to Vegas. You probably don't go to the church specifically because there's a guy dressed as Elvis there. You're probably doing the whole small church theme and that type of deal. So
mm-hmm.
it'll be very hard to regulate and manage.
Yes.
But but again, if it's Elvis's estate, if somebody's benefiting from the likeness and making money off of it, we want to be able to try to control that as much as we can. And I get that too, but it'd be very hard to regulate without the actual licensing
But tell you what I want to
merchandise.
know though, Skinner.
Yeah.
Let me know when they start banning Betty White style weddings.
Yeah,
I mean that's
you know what? They do that. World's going to hell in a handbasket right there.
I gotcha. So
I missed you, Skinner.
yeah, I know.
Do you guys want the Elvis or you want the Betty White impersonator?
Betty White theme. We want the Golden Girls themed wedding.
Oh, gosh.
Only the Nick Cage guy can walk me down the aisle.
I should have worn my Golden Girls shirt today.
The Nick Cage Con Air guy. Can he dress up and can he walk you down the aisle? Give me away.
We'll give you the Golden Girls Golden Shower Wedding.
Oh, come on now. This is a family show.
My God.
What?
Oh,
I just said, you know what? Never mind.
That's a good thing.
What else you got, Skinner?
So let's talk about the biggest topic of conversation around the globe right now. And it's not Keith's colonic adventures. It's OPEC was supposed to meet last week, and I didn't see what had happened. And based on what we're seeing, nothing happened at their headquarters in Austria to discuss breaking their cautious practice, and I'm quote unquote, which is increasing production since the pandemic of their barrels of oil. They're supposed to be increasing 452 barrels a day over a month's time to try to ease these gas prices. OPEC, let's see, it says OPEC, whose de facto leader is a Saudi Arabian guy, has resisted pleas from the White House to supply more oil to make up for production lost due to sanctions against Russia. So 35% of the U.S. oil comes from Russia. The rest of it comes from the Middle East. And of course, we've got our millions and billions of barrels that we have that are just sitting there doing nothing. Oh yeah, no. They're going. Hearing 8 million a day is going exporting out. So as of I had some figures and I redid this because I was going to do this story last week. Right now, the highest gas price in the United States is in El Cajon, California, which is just outside of San Diego. Hold your breath. $6.19 a gallon.
Wow.
Phoenix is $5.37. I talked to Mike Jr. today. DC, he's seeing prices at $5.15 a gallon. New York City, $4.99 a gallon, which I'm surprised they're that low. And Dallas, they're at $4.69. So interesting enough, the one place in the United States that would have to be traveled the furthest to get to them, Kansas City, Kansas. Gas is only $4.35. So how in the hell is a place in Kansas City, Kansas, in the middle of the country, that's the farthest from where the oil's being exported into, is the cheapest? But you got the San Diego, Texas, New York, all these places.
Well, San
and they're
Diego,
just,
that anything out west doesn't surprise me one bit at all.
it's just
No.
mind-boggling. It's sickening. It's
As far as your
disgusting.
question is concerned, I don't understand the economics of it all. I don't want to pretend like I do. When gas was $4 a gallon, my attitude was basically, "Hey, listen, buckle down. We can survive this." The people who suffered the most, and I worked at a gas station years ago, and there is a culture out there of people who have to get their cigarettes with their gas. And I remember people getting a pack of cigarettes at $1.37 a pack and giving me a $5 bill and putting the rest in the tank. I don't know how those people are surviving right now. Those who are addicted to smoking and have to pay for high gas prices. So
They're not
my
giving you
attitude,
$5 anymore.
right? My attitude when it was $4 a gallon or over four was everybody can buckle down. There's other places you can stop splurging to compensate. But right now, I'm at this point. If it keeps going up, the American people are only going to take so much. I just really
Well, that's
believe
what I was
that.
talking to Miss Marston. I'll let Brian chime in. I was telling her, I said, people need to stay home. And
Yeah.
I understand that hurts small businesses, it hurts restaurants, it hurts the retail. But when is enough enough? Then the American public's got to say, this has got to stop.
Yep. Fish?
Yeah, it's it's like you said, I don't quite I don't quite get the whole supply demand part of it. That's definitely some factor. If it feels like they're cutting down, the demand is still there, and they're cutting down the supply to keep us, and they're just going to keep gouging us until, like you say, until the demand decreases. I definitely don't agree with some of these weird conspiracy theories out there to where they're trying to keep gas so expensive that people start buying electric cars to get these electric agendas to go through. Yeah, so I think all that personally is ridiculous. So
I was at Chipotle today, and two girls came inside, both on Segways.
Yeah,
that was great.
So I don't know. Like I said, it just doesn't appear to be a real end in sight. And it all, to me, at the end of the day, it all smells like greed.
Yeah.
As long as people are willing to keep paying and they keep buying it, they're going to continue to charge outrageous prices. Like I said, until the demand goes down to Skinner's point. So if we try to stay home more, not use up as much gas, hopefully that'll help drive it down a little bit. But yeah, it's tough. It's going to be tough probably the rest of the summer anyway.
Yep. All right. Thanks a lot, Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, let's move on to some sports and music.
Let me add one thing real quick, Keith.
Sure.
So we'll remember this. We'll put a pin in this. I looked up when did Elvis pass away. I didn't realize it. August 16th, 1977. So it's going to be 45 years in August that Elvis passed away. Probably around the same time the movie comes out. I don't know the release date of the movie, but the movie comes out sometime this summer. So we'll talk more about Elvis maybe later on in the summer. But just want to put that out there.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. All right, guys. Not a whole lot going on in sports except you got the NHL finals going on. You got the NBA finals, which is at one apiece right now.
Mm-hmm.
All I can say about that is go Boston. That hurts to say, but go Boston. Okay.
Yep.
All right. But in music, certainly lots going on in music. And we'll start off with the most tragic story that I just found out. Apparently yesterday, Alec John Such, at 70 years of age, the bassist for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, yes, they are.
Bon Jovi.
Yes, they are.
Bon Jovi, bass player, has passed away. He was a founding member.
Yeah.
Been there from the beginning. Kind of one of those unsung hero guys. Everybody, of course, knew John, and he had all the girls. And, of course, Richie certainly made a name for himself, not just for his guitar playing, but his amazing backing vocals. He married Heather Locklear, so on and so on. And Alec was kind of that unsung hero. Him and Tico Torres were kind of the quiet guys in the band. But they've been in there from the beginning. So I respect Bon Jovi. I love them. My favorite Bon Jovi album is These Days. They did a bluesy album. It is the best album, one of the best albums I've ever heard in my entire life. The song these days is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my entire life. Some of the best lyrics I've ever heard. Bon Jovi
It's a good
fan,
one.
Fish.
Yeah, I like a lot of their stuff. I mean, I like some of their earlier stuff better. Like, as Slippery When Wet was a solid album. The album before with Runaway and a couple of songs on a little bit of harder edge, but
Yeah.
yeah, one of those things that I like to say, oh, I didn't like those guys, but damn it, every time a song came on, I'm singing along and tapping my foot like everybody else. You know
And
what
if
I'm
anybody
saying?
says they weren't, they're a liar. Absolutely. Yep.
And he's
and
done
I
great.
love the
He's done
fact
great.
that they've stood the test of time. Just still here.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, they dabbled into a little country, a little blues. John did his thing. Tico Torres went off into doing some art, if you will, but they're still doing it. Skinner, Bon Jovi.
Absolutely. I saw them in Columbus when they were last time they were around, which was, oh, good Lord, probably 8 years ago. And they still, even after all this time, played a hell of a show. Yeah, it's sad to hear of his passing because, like you said, there was the three guys that are founding members. Richie's been on and off with all his problems. Well, the four, but Richie's been on and off. With his rehab stints and everything else that he's been going through over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Alec, I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, Alec's been out of the band for a while. I think it's been Tico, John, obviously Richie's been gone for a little bit.
But, it was 83 to 94. Alex,
yeah. He's been gone for a while. Dave, was it Dave Murray or Dave Bryan? Dave Bryan, the keyboard player, still been there for a while. But yeah, Alec's been gone for quite a long time now. So I don't know if it was illnesses or what. But I always think about this when I think about music genres, and there's room for every kind of band, and you got to have that fun band. And they were fun. They were fun to sing along to. Great subject matter, and I really appreciate them. So rest in peace, Alec.
Yes.
Okay. I kind of skipped over the sports story, so I'm going to go backwards a little bit. Interesting story Fish handed down to me today, and there's so many ways to look at this, but a story came out in regards to the NBA, and let's see. Black coaches now lead 50% of NBA teams. And the thing that hits me about this story is when Fish passed the story along to me, he said, I'm not sure if there's a story there or not. And I'm glad he kind of said that because I prefer that to him thinking there was a story there. Because to me, it's a non-story, but it makes you think. And the reason why I'm glad he asked that or phrased it like that is because I don't know the exact percentages, but we know that most of the NBA is made up of black players. And the fact that there would be black coaches over 50% is such an easy thing to see. We know a lot of players go into coaching after their career is over. And I think it's more natural. So to me, this is kind of a non-story for the simple fact, I know the first thing people are thinking about is comparing it to the problems that we have in the NFL with the serious lack of not just ownership, which that's a problem in the NBA as well, but of coaches. There's a great number of black players in coaching in the NFL, but not head coaching. And I think that's probably why this story is relevant to some people. The first thing people think about is the problem that we have in the NFL. You can't compare this to the NFL. It's a different culture, total different culture. The NFL has complete control over everything. The NBA, the players kind of control what's going on a little bit. So it's a whole different thing. You're starting to see NFL players try to do the NBA thing, control where they're playing, control their contracts. But it's a whole different culture. So I wanted to point that out, but I think it's personally a non-story. It just seems very logical that it should be that way with so many players going from having a career to assistant coaching to head coaching. It doesn't surprise me at all. Skinner?
It's interesting you brought up the NFL versus the NBA because I saw a stat, and this doesn't really have to do with the black coaching. The least watched NFL playoff game this past year had 23.4 million viewers. That was the lowest.
Mm-hmm.
Game 1 of the finals for the
About
NBA,
8 million, wasn't it?
8.1 million.
Right.
Now, what is that? I mean, just think for a second what does that say? As far as the viewers, you talk about the NFL owns everything that they do. They own everything. They own all the sports, with as far as how they do, what they do. But as far as the coaching is concerned, I think it's a natural progression for NBA players that's all they've done is play basketball their entire lives. They learn, especially those that had good coaches during their careers of playing, they learn how to speak to the players, how to, the ins and outs, the X's and O's of games. I think it's a natural progression to go into coaching. So I'm not surprised at all that that's the case in the NBA.
Yeah. Fish?
Yeah, it just seems like they're hiring the best dude for the job. There's not really doesn't seem to be a minimum, or they're trying to meet a certain type of, I don't know, minimum diversity rule or this, that, and the other. It's simply who's going to relate to my players. I want a guy that can relate. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's who they're hiring. That's what it seems like to me, anyway, which is good, which is great. And a lot of them have good success.
A smaller group, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're dealing with 11 people, and so the one-on-one or the direct contact is a lot more prevalent in the NBA. Where in the NBA, you could go a long time and not even hardly speaking to your head coach. You could be a linebacker and deal with the linebackers coach or the defensive coordinator and not really even have a relationship with your head coach or even see your head coach. So it's a whole different culture and a whole different atmosphere. The NFL has got to get better at it, at doing this. We have too many great candidates for coaching that are black assistant coaches, and they're not getting the opportunities or not even getting the interviews. I didn't even talk about the jobs, but the interviews. The Rooney Rule has been a farce. They found ways to just make a joke out of that. So they got to get better at looking at the best player for a job. Eric Bieniemy of Kansas City should have been a head coach. You got guys popping up nobody's ever heard of getting head coach's job, and you got a guy like Bieniemy's been running one of the top offenses the NFL has ever seen. So I don't know, kind of a non-story, but there is a story there. All right, guys, this day in music, real quick. Lots of interesting little tidbits here, but I'll just point out a few. There was a little Woodstock story, but there's also 2005. John Bonham, drummer for the great Led Zeppelin, not so great in my eyes anymore, was voted at #1 in Classic Rock Magazine's 50 Greatest Drummers. In rock listing Moby Dick as Bonham's defining moment. Moby Dick was a great drum solo Bonham did. I personally don't agree that with that being his defining moment. I think the grooves that he laid down on some of his songs were just iconic. He had an unbelievable foot, an unbelievable sense of timing, and drummers have come a long way on the scene as far as videos are concerned, as far as notoriety is concerned. John Bonham, as great as he was, he didn't get the notoriety to after he was gone. When people realized this guy was something special. But the one thing I used to hate about drummers when I would watch videos when MTV first came out, a drummer will go and do a great feel that everybody who listened to the album knew was coming up, and the camera was on somebody else, or the camera was on the singer or something like that. And you never got to see the drummer do his stuff. A guy came along by the name of Tommy Lee that changed all of that. He demanded the camera be on him, and he made my list of favorite drummers. So I asked you guys earlier to list your top 5 favorite drummers, no matter the kind of music, and I'll let you guys go, and then I'll go. So we'll start with you, Skinner.
You can go the top 4, and you can put them in any order: 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. The late Neil Peart.
Excellent. Yes.
Lars Ulrich.
Okay.
Alex Van Halen,
Great choice.
and Tommy Lee.
Excellent.
And my number 5, which might surprise you, but it doesn't surprise me, is Eric Carr from Kiss.
Oh, great drummer. Great drummer.
Very,
yeah.
very good drummer. So those are my top 5. Tommy Lee, like you said, Tommy Lee put the drummers to the front of the stage instead of the back of the stage. With all his
That is
shenanigans,
exactly what he did. Yes.
all his incredible sticking, his showmanship, the upside down, on the track, going up and like a roller coaster. It's just what he did during his time and his heyday was absolutely amazing, and he brought the drum set to the front.
Yes.
Versus being in the back.
Now I'm going to tell you something interesting about one of your choices. You mentioned Lars Ulrich, who, the first 3-4 Metallica albums, just unbelievable. I don't know what it is, Skinner, what's going on. I've talked to other drummers and asked them. For some reason, this guy is just maligned in the media by drummers these days. They're saying he sucks, he's sloppy. They're just dogging him, and I don't understand why. So, some of the greatest drumming ever done is on, Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. I don't understand it. So, yeah, great list. Fish, what do you got?
Well, I got John Bonham and the other 4 that Skinner had, the exact same list. So Alex Van Halen, Neil Peart. I wasn't a big Rush guy, but when I hear Rush play, I mean, that guy, it's like this fucking guy can play drums. You know what I mean? And Lars Ulrich, like you say, and Tommy Lee. Yeah, sorry. Hey, we got an explicit rating.
I'm sorry, everybody.
We got an explicit rating out there.
Go ahead. Fish.
Yeah. You don't like it? Get out of my yard, all right?
Get out of his yard.
No, but
Close your robe.
No, but they were definitely all influential in hard rock and metal, like you say. Lars Ulrich, like exactly what you said. Those first couple albums, that was the driving force behind those Metallica albums to help make that band what it was back then. So, but yeah, so there you go. That's my list. What do you got?
Wait, who did I miss here? Say that. So you're listening again?
I had John Bonham.
Yeah.
And then the other drummers that Skinner had: Alex Van Halen.
Oh, okay.
Neil Peart, Lars Ulrich, and Tommy Lee.
Okay, great. Good. So I took the liberty of listing more than 5, being a drummer. All right, I have to. Obviously, I mentioned Tommy Lee. Just brought style and sexy to the drums. Demanded the camera be on him. Some iconic drum parts. I didn't care about his drum parts after after Theater of Pain. I could care less about a lot of his drum parts. He has some great ones like Kickstart My Heart and things like that. But the rest of the stuff, the band got a little cheesy for me. But the parts on Shout at the Devil and stuff, and Too Fast for Love, just man, unbelievable. Next, I got Scott Rockenfield from Queensryche. I have never heard anybody play like this. I had never heard a band like this. Yeah, he just was something special, man. This next drummer, I never made my list in my life until recently, when I really opened up my ears and my eyes and start paying attention. I would have never thought I would list this guy. I used to think he was a joke, and that is Ringo Starr of the Beatles.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Unbelievable meter, unbelievable way he could swing and come up with these different types of rhythms and beats. I've been teaching my kids about being more than a timekeeper on the drums and actually making music. And when I listened to what he was doing, he was the epitome of doing that. So good to him. Tony Royster Jr. Doesn't make any sense that anybody's this good. He's known kind of as a solo thing, but he does play with different people. He went on tour. He plays for Jay-Z a lot. But it's ridiculous how good this guy is. The great Neil Peart, that goes without saying. And, of course, as far as my modern-day drummer, I mean, I'm just all about Mike Portnoy, formerly of Dream Theater, Winery Dogs. He's just something special.
Yep.
Alex Van Halen, one of the most unique drummers, had the most unique drum sets of anybody. And Vinny Appice played for the late, great Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
That's a good one, too.
Yeah, got to sit right in his face at a drum clinic. Taught me so much. Taught me not to just play straight notes on a hi-hat, but use it to make rhythms. He had just a funky foot. Never used a double pedal in his life. Loving. And also the late great Clyde Stubblefield, who, along with James Brown, invented the fatback. Rather
You
than James
talk about
Brown,
you've talked about him a
yeah,
lot.
man, you talk about just laying down a groove. Clyde was just awesome, and I could go on and on and on. James, what's his name? I can't think of his name. He plays for Fates Warning, but he's a phenomenal drummer. But I wanted to get the women time in here, and there's a lot of women that I can name, but I want to go back and name one that throughout time has been a big influence to me, and that is a great Sheila E.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Still performing to this day.
Yes, absolutely. I saw a great video I watched with her and Stuart Copeland, formerly of the Police.
Oh yeah.
Doing a little drum thing back and forth together. It was great. So,
well, you talk about women drummers out there, and there's one that's still current today, and that's Jen Ledger from Skillet.
Yeah.
She's actually, if you've listened to, I've seen her live. She's actually really good.
And there's a new band called Plush. Oh my gosh, that drummer, she's bad to the bone, man. So I could have went on and on. There's a guy by the name of Keith Porter I'm very fond of as well. He makes my top 10 list as well.
Yeah, he's all right. I've seen him a few times.
Okay, so guys, that's pretty much it right now from me with sports and music. Let's get some pop culture.
Okay, so some current big series are streaming right now. Obi Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus is now 3 episodes in, and the Stranger Things season 4 has dropped on Netflix. So I'm working through both of these series, and also The Boys. I should mention as well. The Boys season 3 on Amazon Prime. Very dark take on superheroes. Wow, and it is not disappointing at all. So new episodes of these are dropping every week. So let's start with Obi Wan Kenobi real quick. I know we're all Star Wars nerds, big time. So are you guys all current on Obi Wan? What are you thinking so far, Keith?
Yeah, I had to watch. I heard Skinner say this. I had to watch the 3rd episode 2 or 3 times. It was just so good, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. First 2 were really good. The 3rd one is like, man, this is just getting amazing. A lot of things I want to say. I overheard Skinner say in pre-production, so I'll let him bring those points up. But I think it's great right now. We're getting a look at that gap that was missing, and I just can't wait to see where this show goes.
Yep, Skinner.
Yeah, we were talking pre-production meeting. The fact that James Earl Jones is back on the what we call big screen, as Darth Vader, just sends chills up and down the spine with happiness. Darth Vader, to me, he's my favorite character in Star Wars. You would think, he's the bad guy, he's the villain, but he's my favorite character.
You don't like Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah, no kidding. I watched I watched Phantom Menace the other day just to go back and start watching some of that second trilogy that's just terrible. But anyways, but yeah, no, Obi-Wan Kenobi, just call me Ben, as you reminded me. The story is absolutely phenomenal. We've been starving for it this period of time, like you said, and it couldn't have come at a better time than it is right now.
I got a question. If James Earl Jones weren't around, could they pull this off?
No, you can't. Can't. It would have been blasphemy to have any other voice do it. They would have had to find a way to pull his audio or something like that.
It would have been bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank goodness he's still around and still willing to do it and everything. It's like you say, he is the essence of that character, without question. Yeah. So a lot of fun. So keep it coming. There's also rumors, by the way, that they're going to do away with the newest 3 movies and have a different storyline. We'll see what happens. That's the rumor, and it's it'll be some type of a canon or some type of alternate timeline or something like that. They continue to have rumors about that, so it'll be very interesting to see if they sort of erase it and do something different, bring people back, and just kind of keep the current storylines going that they're working on right now. So
Wow.
we'll see. We'll see.
Hmm.
Are you guys watching either The Boys or Stranger Things?
I stopped
Keith?
watching Stranger Things years ago.
Mhm.
I got about maybe 4 episodes into it and lost interest. The Boys, I have been waiting a long time for this. I have been so excited about The Boys season 3 coming out that I have not watched it. I want to get a few episodes behind so I can, stream a few all together because I'd hate to
Okay.
have watch one and have to wait another week. That's how much I love The Boys. Just a great take on the whole superhero thing.
Yeah.
I love when people come up with a different way to present, what if we had superheroes, and what it would be like. And it's just a great show. It can be very hard to watch at times,
Oh yeah.
but I love the show.
Yeah, it's definitely dark tones for sure. Not
Yeah.
a kid show whatsoever.
No.
So
I mean,
yeah,
when you
okay.
first start off and the guy's hugging his girlfriend and a guy like the Flash runs straight through
Yeah. Yep.
and you're left there holding it in hands, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, the new Stranger Things is definitely more of a horror themed season. It's not the alien weird, separate world type stuff. It's definitely more horror themed. And this past episode, I think it's episode 3
It's
or
on
4, I
my
don't remember,
list to
but
get back to it.
yeah, the great Robert Englund makes an appearance in the episode, and they
Nightmare on Elm
also
Street. Yeah.
Yep. And to honor him, they refer to the Freddy Krueger character in the movies in the same episode to kind of pay homage to the great
Okay.
Robert Englund. Does a great job in it. So, Skin, are you watching any of these shows? Any interest?
I've not watched a minute of Stranger Things. I know it's a phenomenon out there. I may get around to it. And The Boys, I've just not. I didn't even know about that, truthfully, until you guys started talking about it recently. So I've got it up here on my computer to look
Yeah,
at. I'm gonna have to
treat
go
yourself,
and
man.
I'm gonna go ahead and start watching that one. See what that's all about.
Give it
Boys
one
is
episode.
special.
You either like it or hate it.
Yeah.
You like it or hate it. There's no
Okay.
real in between.
Right. That's okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. We had another death in the world of pop culture. One of the most iconic advertising brand images of all time. The actual model passed away recently, 2 days ago. Ann Turner Cook. She was 95 years of age. Miss Cook's photo was the image they used for the Gerber Baby on all the Gerber products. That little baby there was an actual person. It was her way back when she was little, and she recently passed away. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. So, like I said, if there's one of all the advertising brands out there, there's if you put that one up there, there would be one of them that people could identify, see the baby, and know it was the Gerber Baby. I'm sure, at least in our generation.
I thought that was someone else who was the Gerber Baby. Famous actress. What's her name?
Nope. Ann Turner Cook was her name. Yep.
Okay, I can kind of relate to her. I had on a white shirt one time, not unlike this one, and became the Michelin Man. And, yeah.
Yes.
So I totally understand.
Yep.
I get
Guy
it.
rolling the tires out there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Awesome. Okay. It's caught my eye. This the Morbius movie. This is the latest Sony movie that Jared Leto. Morbius is a Marvel villain, Spider-Man villain. Sony owns the rights to the Spider-Man characters. They keep rolling out these movies, the Venom movies, Morbius. It did not perform well in the box office. It was getting some social media attention. They re-released it in the theater, and it bombed again. So, it's just not performing well. I'm not saying it's Jared Leto's fault. It's just, to me, it's these drive me nuts. Sony, the Spider-Man movies the storyline was terrible, horrible. It's not Andrew Garfield's fault. He was a great Spider-Man. Like to see him return as Spider-Man in his universe, but written by Marvel Studios. Let it go, Sony. Give the control to Marvel Studios. Let them do all the characters. Let them bring them into the Spider-Man universe or do whatever it is. stop making these movies, sit back, make money. They're terrible. They're not done well. I don't have any interest in any of them. So just let it go. That's my opinion. Keith, are you a fan of these Sony movies? Is it time to let it go? Any thoughts on that?
It is certainly time to let it go. I want to be fair. They're not all bombs. There's certainly a lot of bombs. They're not all bombs. I believe with all my heart if Marvel had done Morbius, it would be a success.
Mm-hmm.
We could sit and analyze Marvel and figure out why it is they're so great at this. And it's everything from their advertisements to the people they pick to play these parts, to the theme music, to whatever that makes this movie so appealing. But Sony does not have that formula, whatever it is. Now,
Right.
there are some Sony superhero movies that I enjoy. I like the Spider-Man movie. I thought Andrew Garfield was great, and I like the movies. Did they do? They did X-Men too, right? Was that the
Sony? No, that was Fox.
That was
Fox had
Fox.
the
That's
X-Men
right. That's
rights.
right.
Did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I don't know, man. I hate to tell them to give it up, but they obviously just don't have what it takes.
Yeah. Skinner, any
You know,
thoughts on the Sony movies, the Sony superhero movies?
I don't like them. If I've not seen Venoms or any of those others because it's been made by Sony. Don't have a desire to see them. Like you were saying, they're just not good. Their stories are terrible. They don't have the formula. And some would say that DC in general doesn't have the formula. Now they're coming around,
Yeah.
but as far as Spider-Man and give it up, make some money off of it, give it over to Marvel, let them put their magic on it, and it's going to just take off.
Yeah.
they're not horrible. I don't want to say they're horrible, but Marvel's just clearly a cut above everybody else.
Yeah. You're right. It's just odd. It's just that something is just not quite clicking. You're right.
Now I'd like to reserve also opinion. I want to see this movie too. I mean, chances are it's that bad, but I do like have my own opinion, so I'd like to see it be. A lot of people didn't like Superman versus Batman or Batman versus Superman. I didn't like it when I first saw it. And I rewatched it. Now it's one of my favorite movies. I thought it was great when I really understood what they were doing. So I like to see it for myself. I didn't like the Justice League the first time. It was okay. I was really happy when they redid it. It was much better. Wonder Woman was good. The next Wonder Woman was the biggest farce I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So, and Marvel, I mean, you can't think of any duds really. I can't think of any duds Marvel has done.
Yeah.
I guess
With
there's some that aren't
Eternals.
as great. The first Thor wasn't. It was good.
Yeah.
And it was good to see Asgard and all that stuff. But I mean, it wasn't like the Avengers and all them other ones. But they don't have any duds.
Yeah, the Eternals was not quite the best, but it was still made money. But yeah.
But you know what though? Here's the thing. That was a gamble because only your diehard comic book people even knew who they were.
Yeah.
So that was a hard one to make right there. That was a big roll of the dice. And some of these other people they're going to roll out, I got a feeling it's going to be the same thing. The average person doesn't know who some of these people are, some of these movies that are coming out. They're going to have success, with She-Hulk series and things like that. But when you start talking about Star Fox and all these other characters, nobody's going to know who those guys are.
Yeah. Well, one thing that'll be successful when they roll it out, guys, one thing that's always successful when they roll it out is a quality electric bike from our sponsors at RPM Bike Shop in Carrollton, Ohio. Family-owned business. Go check them out on Facebook, RPM Bike Shop. All contact information's there. Photos to the bikes, website link, everything you need there is on Facebook. Phone number. Go check them out there if you're in the market for a electric bike. Stop paying these crazy gas prices. Get yourself an electric bike. Get around town on that. Enjoy yourself out there at an affordable price. Go check them out. And one movie that they're talking about is, this is rumors now. So the Scrubs was first few seasons of that on TV was pretty good. The last season tried to bring it back was like eh. But there's a rumor now that they're going to bring back the original cast for a movie. You know, we're getting all these reboots and resurgence. They're not rebooting the series like some of the others out there. But there's rumors that they're going to make a Scrubs movie. It'll probably be on a Plus something streaming. I don't know, but I'm interested in that. I liked the Scrubs the first few seasons. I thought it was great. A lot of fun, nerdy tones. You know, so I thought it was pretty cool. Were you a Scrubs fan, Keith? Are you interested in the potential Scrubs movie
I did watch
if it comes out?
Came out? I did not watch it when it came out. When it went to syndication, I started trying to check it out, and I got into it for a little while. It's one of those things that to me it was funny at first, but got old really quick.
Okay.
But if I watch it, I'll laugh. It just kind of got old on me, and I stopped watching it. It wasn't enough to hold my attention.
Okay. Skinner, Scrubs fan?
I did not see it and have not seen it. I know a lot of the characters that are from that show. They've gone on and done a lot of other things, but the show itself, I see it's got 9 seasons. I may go back and dabble and see. I've heard a lot of good things from it, but I just never had the chance to go to watch.
I'm not a big fan of humor when it's real over the top, and it kind of was a little too over the top for me. Like
they definitely did that. There was like some scenes that was just like you say, it just wasn't. It was surreal. Some of the stuff they were doing there for a while, but
you know what I'd like
all
to
right,
see, Fish?
go ahead. What's that?
Remake. You know what? Remake Cheers. I mean, wouldn't it be great to see Sam and Diane older now? You know, you got Woody still around. You got Rhea Perlman. That would be fun. You know?
Yeah, at least a special. Like you said, at least a special.
Something that was great and funny. Remake that.
Maybe a miniseries, but I wouldn't want to see any more than that.
Right.
Yeah. Like you said, a miniseries. Like if one of them opens up a bar and they all show up and what's going on in their lives type deal. Yeah. I'm interested in that. Sure. Absolutely.
Remake the Cosby Show. See Bill dropping stuff in people's drinks. You know, at Cheers.
Take 2 of these and
take 2 of these.
I'll call you. I'll call you in the morning.
See, Kirstie Alley will fit into her drunk ass character, no problem.
Right.
Yeah,
take 2 of these and I'll call you an Uber.
That's right. That's oh boy. All right. So this week, guys, in pop culture history, June the 5th, back in 1933, the first drive-in theater opened up in Camden, New Jersey. It was a 400 car capacity. And it was a family themed thing. So the slogan for the new invention was "The whole family is welcome, regardless of how noisy the children are." So, keep your kids in the car. You're not bothering anybody. And so it was just a phenomenon, obviously through the 40s, 50s, and beyond. And in my time growing up, we had tons of drive-in movies in the Northeast Ohio, Akron area. Heck, I recall we had at least 5 to 7 that were running, and now most of them are gone, but there are still some remaining. The Barberton Magic City Drive-In. I took Peyton to many movies with her growing up. She still likes to go to the drive-in movies to this day. She's 21 years old now with her boyfriend. It's just something about it. It's Americana. It's fun. You can sit outside. You can sit in the car. You get the 2 movies. It's just a whole summertime traditional thing. I love the drive-in movies. Did you guys go to drive-ins? Are you still going? Are you interested? Keith, what do you think of drive-ins?
The last drive-in movie I saw was the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. And
wow, that was a while ago.
Yeah, and I really hated it. I mean, you said some really important things. That's Americana. There's something great about it. I remember the excitement of going in the newspaper and looking up the drive-in and see what was playing. I miss those times. But I don't like it now. 1, I'm too uncomfortable in the car. 2, I can't stand the screens, especially if it's a movie that has any darkness in it. Things get lost in the wash.
A little bit.
Yeah, and that bothers me. So, there's a scene in the Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer when Dr. Doom had usurped the Silver Surfer's
Mhm.
board, and they were fighting him in the air. That whole scene, you couldn't see anything on the screen, and it just totally turned me off from drive-ins. I would, if I go to see a movie now, it's got to be something on the special screen. We used to all meet up down here at Highland Square because it was so cheap. But I
Sure.
won't even do that anymore because I figured, man, I want to see clarity. I want the best sound. I only pay for movies with great effects in them. I'm not paying to see, on Golden Pond or some love story or something. I'm paying to see special effects. So if I went, I would go because a bunch of people went, the fun
Mhm.
of it, all that type of stuff. But other than that, not interested.
Skinner, drive-ins.
Love them. Grew up with them. Still go to them to
Mhm.
this day. I mean, we had that group that went last year with Coach Cooper. I forget what movie we all went and saw, but we all piled in the back of my dad's truck and we went to a movie theater out there in Barberton with I don't. Were you with us with that one?
Yeah, we saw the original Halloween. It was the
That's what it
Halloween movie
was.
they showed. That
Yep,
was pretty cool to see that on the big screen and
it
drive-in.
was.
Yep.
But yeah, we piled 15 of us in the back of the pickup truck and in the cab of the truck, and we paid, I don't know, whatever it was, $20-$30, and we got to sit and watch a movie, and we had a great time. But
Hey,
I
I got
took
an
my
idea.
Mhm.
Let's do one this year.
The
So,
Jurassic
Okay.
Park movie opens up next weekend. I
okay,
can't go this next weekend necessarily, but let's go see the Jurassic Park new movie. That's a
that
great
sounds great.
drive-in movie.
Let's do it.
There you have. But you just mentioned something too, Skinner. It allowed you, even to this day, the Magic City Drive-In, you could put as many people as you can fit in your vehicle, and it's $20-some a car load.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay a little extra to bring in your own food anymore because they could take a hit on the concession stand, like $4 or $5, whatever it is, and you get two current movies.
Yeah.
So from a family affordability perspective, it has allowed people to see some current movies with a large family, or to bring a bunch of kids with a party or whatever the heck people are doing at an affordable price. That's another good thing about
Well,
the
when we
drive-in.
were young, it was a whole different type of thing. It was about either making out or
Sure.
walking around from car to car, seeing who was there, and
Oh yeah,
meeting up at the concession stand. That was exciting when you were a teenager.
absolutely. Yep. Okay. I'm checking the time
Right
here.
now, all I'll
Okay.
be saying is, "Hey, I gotta pee again."
Yeah, that is one drawback.
Yeah.
Okay, this day in pop culture, June the 9th, all the way back in 1934,
Whew.
the birthday of the guy here in my shirt, Donald Duck, from Disney. I just wanted to mention that there too. So one of and Skinner mentioned at the beginning of the show too, off camera, but his personal favorite Walt Disney character too. Donald Duck and Goofy to me are the top two characters. Love them. Love the temper. I love the voice. The whole thing. Some of the old classic cartoons are some of my favorite with Donald Duck. The Christmas ones especially and all that. So great character. Love them. Happy birthday, Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Keith, are you a Donald Duck fan, sir?
I can not like Donald. One of the great iconic voices, personalities. He's one of those cartoons that you almost feel like they're real. He's been around in so many situations.
Yep.
I don't know how you couldn't love Donald Duck.
Yep. Skinner, I know you mentioned your favorite. Why is he your favorite?
Like you said, his anger, his sound, the stories that they have with him, it just unlike any of the other characters through Walt Disney.
Oh. Very good. 2007, on June the 10th, the Sopranos series came to an end.
Excuse me.
You might remember it got a lot of flack because it sort of left a lot of unopened or unanswered questions, I'm trying to say. But thinking back on the Sopranos, that was one of the first series on HBO, original series, that I'm sure many people subscribed to HBO
Right.
strictly to be able to watch The Sopranos. So this is the model before the pluses that are all over the place right now that all these streaming services are trying to recapture. We would have some great original content, Disney Plus, all these ones you can name it. We're not just going to show our old catalog here and movies that we have rights to. We're going to bring people in by creating an interesting original series. So this was probably, I can't think of anything prior that was as huge as The Sopranos to help create that model. And I'm sure it was an influence, like I said, for all these streaming services today. But I never watched one episode. Not against it. I didn't have HBO. I didn't want to subscribe to it just to watch it. But Keith, are you a Sopranos fan? Did you subscribe just to get this?
Listen,
And
I am
yeah.
so huge on the whole gangster mob thing. Like a lot of people, we talked about, the great Ray Liotta that passed away recently, and the Goodfellas. Love all of that stuff. I watched The Godfather like it's a religion or something. Know every word. I have never watched one episode of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
I tried to, and I don't know, man. There's just something about it. I just wasn't digging it. I don't know if I haven't given it a good enough chance or what, but not one single episode, it's caught my attention. I know it is in the last a little over 20 years. It's the biggest thing that ever happened at HBO, other than Game of Thrones.
Yep.
And but I haven't watched it, man. I tried to watch it, just was not feeling it.
It's got to be on HBO Max, right? I would think.
Yeah.
The catalog?
It's easy to watch and stream. It's everywhere.
Okay.
So it's
All right.
in fact, I can tell you right now where you can watch it. It's on HBO Max. It's on Hulu.
Okay. There you go.
Vudu, Amazon Prime.
There you have it. Okay. Many options. I have most of those already.
Yeah.
Skinner, you a Sopranos fan? Did you subscribe to HBO Max or HBO? Excuse me, back in the day to watch it?
No, I'm with you guys. I think I've watched the first 2 episodes of Sopranos, and for whatever reason, I didn't continue. But it's probably one of the best shows that ever been out in the last 20 years. Like Keith said, I'm a huge mob movies fan. I've watched them all. Goodfellas was probably my favorite big screen next to
Casino, all that stuff.
Yeah, during all that time. But I've never seen Sopranos, so it's something I want to go back and watch.
And I'm a huge fan of James Gandolfini. Like his stuff.
Sure.
I love Lorraine Bracco. Just never, I don't know, man. Just something about it. But I want to give it a fair shot. I want to give, I went years saying the same thing about Game of Thrones. And I finally said I'm going to watch one full episode, because I tried to watch it twice. I got in 15 minutes in and turned it off. And when I watched the first full episode, I said, and I was addicted. I watched all 7 seasons in a little over a week. That was years ago. I had to wait 2 years for the final season, which everybody complained about. I thought it was great. And my sister finally said, I want to watch Game of Thrones. And we just watched all 8 seasons in 3.5 weeks. And she's just mesmerized. So I want to give the same fair chance to The Sopranos.
Are there any? So obviously, Disney Plus. We're all fans of Disney Plus for the original Marvel and Disney content. Some of those are just fantastic. Are there other streaming services that you subscribe to now specifically because of any original content? And if so, what is that content, Keith?
Oh yeah, you got to get Pluto TV. Put it on your phone if you can get it on your TV. Pluto TV is phenomenal. It's just like having cable. You don't need cable. It's got a bunch of channels on it, but also has a bunch of specific channels for specific shows. One of my favorite shows in history is Cops. There is a Cops channel on Pluto TV. Nothing but Cops 24/7. So that is one of I got that just to stream that.
That's free.
Yeah, totally free.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. There was like a James Bond channel on there, Keith. I saw
there's all kind
Twilight
of cool
Zone
stuff on there. Black cinema, romance cinema, or sci-fi horror, and you got a bunch of cable channels. So it's amazing, totally free.
Okay. Skinner, any other besides Disney Plus? Do you subscribe to any other streaming services or watch others specifically for their original content? And if so, what's the content?
We get Amazon Prime with having the paying for Amazon Prime, so we watch a lot of that. There's a television show called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah, my sister said that's great.
It is a fantastic show. It got 4 seasons in, I think.
I gotta watch that, Skinner. My sister loved that show.
I love the era. It takes place back in the 40s and 50s, which I would a lot of people told me because of my liking for that era, I should have been born during that time.
Okay, I love that era too.
Yeah,
But
so
I'll tell you though what, Skinner. Since you're into, I didn't even mention them, but I love Amazon Prime for their original stuff. There are some shows on Amazon Prime that are some of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. Check out The Wheel of Time. Just came out last year. Everybody's waiting for season 2. It's Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, all that kind of rolled into one type of deal. Phenomenal show. They got some great stuff on there, man. I'm gonna give you a list of stuff, Amazon Prime originals to check out.
Okay.
One other one on Amazon Prime, real quick. Jack Ryan.
Jack
Jack Ryan series.
Jack Ryan was great.
There's a third season coming out. I just don't know when it's coming out yet, but there is a season 3.
Jack Ryan is the character from, he first was in The Hunt for Red October, played by Alec Baldwin, and then it was Patriot Games, and what was the other one? There was another one. Those were played by Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that whole series of books. If you're a book reader, listen to.
What's a book?
Tom Clancy. That's who wrote all these.
What's a book?
No, Sum of All Fears, Patriot Games. Yeah, what's a book? I know, I get it. But the books are even better than the movies, and the movies are fantastic.
Yeah, there's the Tomorrow War. There's Reacher.
Yep.
There's some great stuff. Amazon Prime originals.
Yeah, I'm gonna start watching that Reacher too. That looks pretty. HBO Max has good stuff too. I mean, certainly all the DC stuff. We talked about Peacemaker on this podcast. With a lot of fun, dark. John Cena was fantastic in Peacemaker. And then I started watching just a couple episodes in. I got a lot to go through, but the Stewardess on HBO Max.
I want to see that.
Yeah, so it's kind of
Is that the one with Kaylee Cuoco?
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched the first season. It was very, very strange. Wow. I have to see what you guys think of it.
Let me bottom line this for you. There are every streaming service has great originals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
They all do. Hulu has some great ones. So.
Yep. You're right. Yeah. So it's just so I have to sometimes pause and think about how much money I'm spending per month on all these goddamn subscriptions, and I don't know.
I know what you mean. I got to cancel my cable because I'm spending way too much money.
Yep. All right. Well, one thing, guys, that is another more fantastic original programming that is absolutely free of charge today. Just today. Not in the future, it may not be. You'll probably have to pay at some point in the future to watch it. It Came from GenX podcast, and we have come to another conclusion of another fantastic episode. Yes, it sure did. So again, we know Skinner was out. He was sick. He was still writing, practicing, working through his outro. So are you prepared, Skinner, to give us another fantastic outro?
I will give it my best shot.
Okay, take it away.
Oh, but it was good to be back with you folks this week. Missed my brothers in arms.
So good to have you back.
We will say farewell this week. It's been fun. You have a great week coming up. And for Brian Fisher and Keith Porter, I am Michael Skinner. We are the guys from GenX, and we appreciate you. Have a great week.
Stay strong, GenX. Hey, Fish here from It Came from GenX with Skinner and Keith. For every like and subscribe, you may win a free 1-year subscription to the AARP.